The fake fine fiasco. In the quiet suburbs of America, where manicured lawns and community rules reign, one small business owner uncovers a scandal that shakes their neighborhood to its core. The fake fine fiasco follows their relentless quest for justice against a corrupt homeowners association, HOA, issuing fraudulent fines for non-existent violations, $300 for a sign that never existed, $500 for plants that were never planted. These fines, they discover, are a scheme to fund a board member's lavish personal renovations, from lake house remodels to yacht upgrades. Armed with defiance and a hidden camera, our protagonist secretly records HOA meetings, exposing smug confessions and forged financial records. Teaming up with neighbors, they spark protests, leak evidence to local media, and ignite a viral firestorm that topples the board. Through a gripping class action lawsuit, they secure refunds with interest and a new, honest HOA. With gritty narration, visuals of sneaky recordings, fake violation notices, and community rallies, this series of 10 unique stories delivers raw, revenge-driven tales of triumph over greed, proving that no one can scam a community that fights back together. The Coffee Shop Crusader. The story opens with Sarah, a hardworking entrepreneur, narrating her frustration over a $500 HOA fine for unapproved signage at her cozy coffee shop, despite no changes to her storefront. Her defiant tone sets the stage, accompanied by visuals of her holding the fine notice, surrounded by espresso machines and chalkboard menus. This establishes her as a relatable underdog fighting an unjust system. In the discovery phase, Sarah learns neighbors are also receiving vague fines for improper lawn maintenance or other trivial issues. Suspecting foul play, she attends an HOA meeting, her suspicion captured in visuals of stacked fine notices and a tense meeting room filled with smug board members. The investigative core unfolds as Sarah uses a hidden pen camera to record the next meeting, capturing board president Greg boasting about using extra funds from fines to remodel his lake house. Digging deeper, she accesses public HOA financials online, uncovering payments to Greg's contractor friend. Blurry hidden camera footage and zoomed-in ledgers with red-circled discrepancies amplify the suspense. The escalation sees Sarah confronting Greg privately, only to face threats of legal action. Undeterred, she teams with a retired accountant neighbor who uncovers forged invoices tying the fines to Greg's renovations. Visuals of late-night document reviews and forged receipts heighten the stakes. Sarah's defiance fuels the community action phase, where she shares evidence at a neighborhood meeting, sparking outrage. Protests erupt outside Greg's home, with signs reading, "Stop HOA Fraud," and news vans rolling in, capturing the community's growing rebellion. The climax hits when Sarah leaks the recordings to a local news outlet, resulting in a viral exposé. Headlines like "HOA Scam Exposed," "Flood Screens," and "Greg's Board Collapses Under Pressure." Visuals of Greg dodging reporters add a layer of schadenfreude. In the resolution, Sarah leads a class action lawsuit, winning refunds with interest and ousting the corrupt board. Courtroom gavels and new board election flyers mark the victory, with Sarah narrating her relief. The epilogue wraps with Sarah hosting a "Victory Brew" event at her shop, where neighbors toast to justice. A framed fine notice hangs as a trophy, symbolizing triumph. With visuals of laughing neighbors and a defiant narration, "We took our neighborhood back," the story delivers a satisfying revenge tale of one woman's fight against HOA corruption. The Mechanics Stand. The story begins with Juan, a small business owner running an auto shop, narrating his outrage over a $300 HOA fine for unauthorized vehicle parking, despite his truck being stored in his garage. His gritty, determined tone resonates as he stands in his shop, grease-stained hands clutching the fine notice, setting him up as a relatable everyman battling an unjust system. Visuals of his bustling shop and the fine letter establish the stakes. In the discovery phase, Juan overhears neighbors complaining about similar fines for cluttered yards or fence violations, suspecting the HOA is fleecing residents. Visuals of neighbors waving fine letters and Juan frowning at an HOA newsletter build tension. The investigation intensifies as Juan sneaks a voice recorder into an HOA meeting, capturing board member Carla joking about using fines to fund her beach condo upgrades. Hacking into the HOA's online portal, with a neighbor's help, he uncovers fake expense reports. Audio clips from the recorder and screenshots of falsified budgets with highlighted discrepancies create a thrilling investigative vibe. Escalation occurs when Juan confronts Carla, who laughs him off and threatens legal action. He partners with a tech-savvy neighbor to trace payments to Carla's contractor, revealing forged receipts. Visuals of a tense confrontation and receipts with fake HOA stamps heighten the drama. The community action phase sees Juan distributing flyers with evidence, rallying neighbors for a protest at the HOA office. The story gains traction on social media, with X posts trending locally, shown through protesters with megaphones and signs like HOA thief. The climax unfolds as a local radio station airs Juan's recordings, sparking a viral scandal. Carla and the board resign under public pressure, depicted in visuals of radio clips and Carla packing her office in a hurry. In the resolution, Juan leads a class action lawsuit, securing refunds with interest and a new, transparent board. Courtroom victories and new board posters underscore the triumph, with Juan narrating his relief while fixing a car. The epilogue closes with Juan hosting a neighborhood barbecue at his shop, a sign reading, "No more fines," on display. Visuals of neighbors laughing and toasting, paired with Juan's narration, "We fixed more than cars," deliver a satisfying revenge tale, showcasing one man's fight to dismantle HOA corruption and restore justice. The Baker's Rebellion. The story opens with Emily, a dedicated baker, narrating her shock and anger over a $400 HOA fine for non-compliant exterior decor, despite having no decorations outside her bakery. Her fiery, investigative tone hooks viewers as she stands in her flour-dusted apron, holding the fine notice amidst the warm glow of her bakery's pastry cases. Visuals of fresh croissants and the fine letter establish her as a hard-working underdog facing an unjust system, setting a relatable and emotional foundation. In the discovery phase, Emily learns neighbors are receiving similar fines for trivial issues like unapproved mailboxes or improper patio furniture. Suspecting a scam, she attends an HOA meeting, her curiosity captured in visuals of piled fine notices and neighbors arguing over mailboxes. The investigation deepens when Emily hides a camera in a potted plant at the next HOA meeting, recording board member Todd bragging about funding his new pool with community fees. Digging into HOA financial records online, she uncovers forged invoices linking fines to Todd's renovations. Blurry hidden camera footage and financial documents with highlighted discrepancies amplify the suspense, drawing viewers into her detective work. Escalation unfolds as Emily confronts Todd privately, only to face dismissive condescension and threats of foreclosure. Undaunted, she teams with a neighbor, a former auditor, who uncovers fake vendor contracts tied to Todd's pool project. Visuals of late-night document reviews and forged invoices with red annotations heighten the stakes, showcasing Emily's relentless pursuit of truth. The community action phase sees Emily sharing evidence via a neighborhood newsletter, igniting outrage. Protests erupt outside Todd's house, with signs reading "HOA thief" and news vans capturing the chaos, reflecting the community's growing rebellion and the story's viral potential. The climax hits when Emily leaks the recordings to a local TV station, resulting in a viral exposé with headlines like "HOA Scam Exposed." Todd and the board crumble under public pressure, shown through resignation letters and Todd dodging reporters. In the resolution, Emily leads a class action lawsuit, securing refunds with interest and ousting the corrupt board. Courtroom gavels and new board election flyers mark the victory, with Emily narrating her pride while rolling dough in her bakery, grounding the triumph in her everyday life. The epilogue concludes with Emily hosting a "no fines" cupcake giveaway at her bakery, where neighbors celebrate. A framed fine notice hangs as a trophy, symbolizing her victory. Visuals of happy customers and neighbors cheering, paired with Emily's narration, "We needed justice, and we got it," deliver a satisfying revenge tale of one woman's fight to expose HOA corruption and restore fairness to her community. The Carpenter's Comeback. The story opens with Marcus, a gruff yet determined craftsman, narrating his outrage over a $600 HOA fine for unapproved workshop materials in his shed, despite no violations. His gritty, defiant tone resonates as he stands in his workshop, surrounded by sawdust and tools, clutching the fine notice. Visuals of his handcrafted furniture and the fine letter establish him as a hard-working everyman battling an unjust system, setting an engaging and relatable tone. In the discovery phase, Marcus overhears neighbors complaining about fines for roof violations or fence height, suspecting the HOA is skimming money. Visuals of neighbors comparing fine letters and Marcus studying HOA bylaws build tension. The investigation intensifies as Marcus uses a hidden microphone to record an HOA meeting, capturing board member Lisa joking about funding her mansion's new wing with fines. Accessing HOA records online, he uncovers forged expense reports. Audio clips from the hidden mic and financial documents with fake contractor names heighten the suspense, pulling viewers into his detective work. Escalation occurs when Marcus confronts Lisa, who threatens to place a lien on his home. He teams with a paralegal neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Lisa's renovations. Visuals of a heated argument and invoices with forged HOA stamps amplify the drama. The community action phase sees Marcus posting evidence on a community bulletin board, sparking protests at the HOA office. A local blogger amplifies the story, shown through flyers on car windshields, protesters with signs like HOA thief, and blog screenshots trending locally. The climax unfolds as the blog post goes viral, forcing Lisa and the board to resign. Marcus leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of viral blog posts, Lisa leaving the HOA office, and courtroom gavels. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest and a new, transparent board is elected. Marcus narrates his relief while sanding wood, with visuals of court victories and new board posters grounding the triumph. The epilogue closes with Marcus hosting a neighborhood woodshop open house, a sign reading, "Fines nailed," on display. Visuals of neighbors admiring his work and the sign, paired with Marcus's narration, "We built justice from scratch," deliver a satisfying revenge tale, showcasing one man's fight to dismantle HOA corruption and restore fairness. The Florist's Fight. The story begins with Lily, a dedicated small business owner, narrating her anger over a $350 HOA fine for unapproved garden plants at her home, despite using native species. Her passionate, investigative tone engages viewers as she stands in her vibrant flower shop, holding the fine notice amidst colorful blooms. Visuals of her arranging bouquets and the fine letter establish her as a relatable underdog fighting an unjust system, setting an emotional and visually rich tone. In the discovery phase, Lily learns neighbors are receiving fines for trivial issues like signage or patio clutter, suspecting the HOA is misusing funds. Visuals of fine notices and neighbors pointing at their yards build suspicion. The investigation deepens when Lily hides a camera in her purse at an HOA meeting, capturing board member Victor gloating about funding his yacht repairs with fines. Accessing HOA records online, she uncovers forged financials linking fines to Victor's contractor. Hidden camera footage and financial documents with fake vendor payments create a thrilling investigative atmosphere. Escalation unfolds as Lily confronts Victor, who dismisses her and threatens foreclosure. She teams with a bookkeeper neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Victor's yacht. Visuals of a tense confrontation and invoices with red highlights intensify the drama, showcasing Lily's relentless pursuit. The community action phase sees Lily sharing evidence via a neighborhood newsletter, sparking protests at Victor's marina. Signs reading "HOA robbery" and news vans filming reflect the community's outrage, amplified by local news coverage. The climax hits when the news story goes viral, forcing Victor and the board to resign. Lily leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of TV headlines, resignation letters, and courtroom drama capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Lily narrates her victory while arranging flowers, with visuals of court rulings and new board flyers grounding the triumph in her daily life. The epilogue concludes with Lily hosting a community garden party with free bouquets, a framed fine notice hanging in her shop as a trophy. Visuals of neighbors celebrating and the framed notice, paired with Lily's narration, "We grew justice together," deliver a satisfying revenge tale of one woman's fight to expose HOA corruption and restore fairness to her community. The Barber's Battle. The story opens with Tony, a dedicated barbershop owner, narrating his fury over a $400 HOA fine for an unapproved shop sign that doesn't exist. His sharp, defiant tone captivates viewers as he stands in his barbershop, clippers in hand, holding the fine notice amidst buzzing razors and leather chairs. Visuals of his bustling shop and the fine letter establish him as a relatable everyman fighting an unjust system, setting a gritty and engaging tone. In the discovery phase, Tony overhears neighbors complaining about fines for window tint or trash can placement, suspecting the HOA is scamming residents. Visuals of neighbors waving fine letters and Tony reading HOA rules build tension. The investigation intensifies when Tony hides a phone to record an HOA meeting, capturing board member Diane joking about funding her new home theater with fines. Accessing the HOA's online portal, he uncovers forged budgets. Audio clips from the hidden phone and screenshots of fake expenses heighten the suspense, drawing viewers into his detective work. Escalation occurs when Tony confronts Diane, who threatens to sue him. He teams with a former clerk neighbor to uncover fake vendor contracts tied to Diane's renovations. Visuals of a heated argument and contracts with forged signatures amplify the drama. The community action phase sees Tony posting evidence on a Community X page, sparking protests outside Diane's house. Protesters with signs like HOA Greed and a local radio station's coverage, shown through X posts and broadcast clips, reflect the growing rebellion. The climax unfolds as the radio story goes viral, forcing Diane and the board to resign. Tony leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of radio clips, Diane packing her office, and courtroom gavels capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Tony narrates his pride while cutting hair, with visuals of court victories and new board posters grounding the triumph. The epilogue closes with Tony hosting a free haircut day for neighbors, a sign reading, "No more cuts from HOA," on display. Visuals of happy clients and the sign, paired with Tony's narration, "We trimmed the corruption," deliver a satisfying revenge tale, showcasing one man's fight to dismantle HOA corruption and restore justice to his community. The Tailor's Triumph. The story opens with Aisha, a dedicated small business owner, narrating her shock over a $500 HOA fine for unapproved fabric displays at her home, despite no displays existing. Her calm but vengeful tone draws viewers in as she stands in her sewing shop, surrounded by vibrant fabric rolls, holding the fine notice. Visuals of her threading a needle and the fine letter establish her as a relatable underdog battling an unjust system, setting an emotional and focused tone. In the discovery phase, Aisha learns neighbors are receiving fines for trivial issues like porch clutter or gate color, suspecting the HOA is funneling money elsewhere. Visuals of fine notices and neighbors pointing at their homes build suspicion. The investigation deepens when Aisha hides a recorder in her bag at an HOA meeting, capturing board member Paul joking about funding his new garage with fines. Accessing HOA files online, she uncovers forged financials linked to Paul's contractor. Recorder audio and financial documents with fake payments create a thrilling investigative atmosphere. Escalation unfolds as Aisha confronts Paul, who threatens foreclosure. She teams with a CPA neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Paul's renovations. Visuals of a tense standoff and invoices with red annotations intensify the drama, showcasing Aisha's determination. The community action phase sees Aisha sharing evidence via a community email blast, sparking protests at Paul's house. Signs reading HOA scam and news vans filming, shown through protest visuals and TV coverage, reflect the community's outrage and the story's growing traction. The climax hits when the TV story goes viral, forcing Paul and the board to resign. Aisha leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of news headlines, resignation letters, and courtroom drama capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Aisha narrates her relief while sewing, with visuals of court rulings and new board flyers grounding the triumph in her daily craft. The epilogue concludes with Aisha hosting a neighborhood fashion show with free alterations, a framed fine notice hanging in her shop as a trophy. Visuals of models on a makeshift runway and neighbors cheering, paired with Aisha's narration, "We stitched up justice," deliver a satisfying revenge tale of one woman's fight to expose HOA corruption and restore fairness to her community. The photographer's payback. The story opens with Claire, a passionate small business owner, narrating her anger over a $450 HOA fine for unapproved studio lights despite working indoors. Her artistic, defiant tone captivates viewers as she stands in her studio, surrounded by cameras and prints, holding the fine notice. Visuals of her adjusting a lens and the fine letter establish her as a creative underdog fighting an unjust system, setting an engaging and visually rich tone. In the discovery phase, Claire hears neighbors complain about fines for deck furniture or tree height, suspecting the HOA is misusing funds. Visuals of fine letters and neighbors arguing in their yards build tension. The investigation intensifies when Claire hides a camera in her scarf at an HOA meeting, capturing board member Ethan boasting about funding his ski cabin upgrades with fines. Accessing HOA records online, she uncovers forged budgets linked to Ethan's contractor. Hidden camera footage and financial documents with fake expenses heighten the suspense, drawing viewers into her detective work. Escalation occurs when Claire confronts Ethan, who threatens to lean her studio. She teams with a journalist neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Ethan's renovations. Visuals of a tense confrontation and invoices with forged signatures amplify the drama, showcasing Claire's resolve. The community action phase sees Claire posting evidence on a community blog, sparking protests at Ethan's cabin. Protesters with signs like HOA fraud and news vans filming, shown through blog screenshots and news clips, reflect the community's rebellion and the story's viral spread. The climax unfolds as the news story goes viral, forcing Ethan and the board to resign. Claire leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of TV headlines, Ethan packing his office, and courtroom gavels capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Claire narrates her victory while shooting photos, with visuals of court rulings and new board posters grounding the triumph in her creative world. The epilogue closes with Claire hosting a neighborhood photo exhibit with free portraits, a sign reading, "Framed the HOA," on display. Visuals of exhibit scenes and neighbors admiring her work, paired with Claire's narration, "We captured justice," deliver a satisfying revenge tale, showcasing one woman's fight to dismantle HOA corruption and restore fairness to her community. The chef's checkmate. The story opens with Leo, a passionate restaurant owner, narrating his outrage over a $400 HOA fine for unapproved food truck parking at his home, despite owning no truck. His fiery, investigative tone grips viewers as he stands in his bustling kitchen, chopping vegetables and holding the fine notice. Visuals of sizzling pans and the fine letter establish him as a relatable, hard-working underdog battling an unjust system, setting an intense and dynamic tone. In the discovery phase, Leo learns neighbors are receiving fines for trivial issues like patio violations or signage, suspecting the HOA is skimming funds. Visuals of fine notices and neighbors pointing at their patios build suspicion. The investigation escalates when Leo hides a microphone at an HOA meeting, capturing board member Rachel joking about funding her new kitchen with fines. Accessing HOA records online, he uncovers forged financials linked to Rachel's contractor. Mike audio and financial documents with fake vendor payments create a suspenseful investigative atmosphere, pulling viewers into Leo's quest. Escalation unfolds as Leo confronts Rachel, who threatens to shut his restaurant. He teams with a lawyer neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Rachel's renovations. Visuals of a heated argument and invoices with red highlights intensify the drama, showcasing Leo's determination. The community action phase sees Leo sharing evidence via a neighborhood group chat, sparking protests at Rachel's house. Signs reading HOA Greed and a local food critic's blog post, shown through protest visuals and news cameras, amplify the community's outrage and the story's viral momentum. The climax hits when the critic's story goes viral, forcing Rachel and the board to resign. Leo leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of viral blog posts, Rachel leaving the HOA office, and courtroom drama capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Leo narrates his pride while cooking, with visuals of court rulings and new board flyers grounding the triumph in his culinary world. The epilogue concludes with Leo hosting a free community dinner at his restaurant, a framed fine notice hanging as a trophy. Visuals of neighbors toasting in the framed notice, paired with Leo's narration, "We cooked up justice," deliver a satisfying revenge tale of one man's fight to expose HOA corruption and restore fairness to his community. The Brewer's Brew of Justice. The story opens with Hannah, a passionate brewery owner, narrating her fury over a $500 HOA fine for unapproved brewery equipment at her home, despite no equipment being present. Her bold, defiant tone captivates viewers as she stands in her brewery, pouring a pint and holding the fine notice amidst gleaming tanks. Visuals of frothy beer and the fine letter establish her as a relatable underdog fighting an unjust system, setting a vibrant and spirited tone. In the discovery phase, Hannah hears neighbors complain about fines for lawn decor or fence paint, suspecting the HOA is funneling money elsewhere. Visuals of fine letters and neighbors arguing in their yards build tension. The investigation intensifies when Hannah hides a camera in her hat at an HOA meeting, capturing board member Mike boasting about funding his new home bar with fines. Accessing HOA records online, she uncovers forged budgets linked to Mike's contractor. Hidden camera footage and financial documents with fake payments create a thrilling investigative vibe, drawing viewers into her quest. Escalation occurs when Hannah confronts Mike, who threatens to lien her brewery. She teams with a forensic accountant neighbor to uncover fake invoices tied to Mike's renovations. Visuals of a tense standoff and invoices with forged signatures amplify the drama, showcasing Hannah's resolve. The community action phase sees Hannah posting evidence on a Community X page, sparking protests at Mike's house. Protesters with signs like HOA fraud and news vans filming, shown through X posts and news clips, reflect the community's rebellion and the story's viral spread. The climax unfolds as the news story goes viral, forcing Mike and the board to resign. Hannah leads a class action lawsuit, with visuals of TV headlines, Mike packing his office, and courtroom gavels capturing the turning point. In the resolution, the lawsuit secures refunds with interest, and a new, transparent board is elected. Hannah narrates her relief while brewing, with visuals of court rulings and new board posters grounding the triumph in her craft. The epilogue closes with Hannah hosting a neighborhood beer tasting with free pints, a sign reading, "No more bitter fines," on display. Visuals of neighbors cheering and the sign, paired with Hannah's narration, "We brewed justice," deliver a satisfying revenge tale, showcasing one woman's fight to dismantle HOA corruption and restore fairness to her community.